Check out these YouTube comments. I just lost 50% of my traffic yesterday. I just lost 40% of my traffic. This update lost 99% of traffic overnight, and I don't even know why. Not like this. Not like this. Jokes aside, it's a sad state of affairs, and unfortunately very too common. I see at least one of these heart-wrenching YouTube comments per day, and if I'm being dead honest, I feel for these people and I wish the best for them. But I'm not surprised there's a widespread misconception and search engine optimization through my website portfolio company SEO Design Lab. In my SEO agency, we're managing quite a few websites, and once I figured out what I'm about to do, tell you I started getting these types of gains across my portfolio literally overnight, between 16 and 377% increase in share of voice. The key indicator of traffic. You see, most SEO professionals work like this. More content, more backlinks, more content, more backlinks. Great, that's fine. Fantastic. They also set monthly or quarterly growth targets. I want 10% or more traffic. Look, there's nothing wrong with setting goals. It's just that people are setting the wrong goals. If SEO growth is the target, here's the thing: 80% of the movement you'll get on Google will happen on 2 to 3 days out of the year when there's been a release of the Google Core algorithm update. Typically, your website's traffic will look like this. You'll be adding content and links, and you'll be making mild progress, sometimes up, sometimes flat, and sometimes unfortunately down. But when Google releases the Core update, that's when you could launch into another tier of awesomeness, or even get decimated back down to the little leagues. What actually is a Google Core algorithm update? 2 to 3 times per year. Google releases Core updates. These are large algorithmic changes to how they order their rankings, typically taking 1 or 2 weeks to fully roll out in Google Search Central. They describe these updates as, quote, broad changes to their search algorithms and systems. By broad, they mean widespread. They're not just tweaking one little thing at a time. They're going full ham on multiple ranking factors, trying to refine their results. Think of these updates like this. Google assigns a quality score to each website, which is made up of a bunch of ranking factors like content quality, link quality, EAT, topical authority, technical SEO, etc. They may decide in the Core update that content quality and EAT need more weight. When they do this, website will get new quality scores, and there will be a shuffling around in the rankings. When this happens, the fate of your entire website, not just a page or two, hangs in the balance. Certain ranking factors, which I'll get to soon, only get looked at during a Core update, and if you miss the mark on these ranking factors, you'll have to wait until the next update for another shot. So it's extremely important that you take this very seriously. If 80% of your movement happens on these Core updates, your SEO strategy needs to focus on preparing your website for them. Sure, it's good to build content. It's good to build links. But if the majority of your growth or decimation is determined by these Core updates, you'd be insane if you didn't focus the majority of your attention on them. And that's what we're going to dive into in this video. What can you do to position your website for 100,000, 200, 300% gains on Core updates? But before we get started, in the pinned comment, I left a link to my free SEO training masterclass. It goes over everything that I'm doing today to get sites to the top of Google. Just click the link in the pinned comment to book your spot. Now back to the video. Remember earlier when I told you that there are certain ranking factors that get evaluated, especially on Google updates? The biggest one is topical authority. In fact, in my Discord group, the Affiliate SEO Mastermind, I asked the question, which ranking factors do you think are only refreshed in the Core update, and 53% of people agreed it was topical authority. So between updates, your primary goal is to achieve topical authority status in one niche or more before the next one hits topical authorities. When you don't just dabble in a topic on your website, you completely cover every single article that can possibly be written about a topic. It's a major ranking factor. When the Google algorithm can see that you wrote on every VPN topic possible, they have no choice but to consider you a subject matter expert on VPN. Check this out. During the May 2022 Google Core algorithm update, my website, SEOdesignlab.com, was completely done building a content silo on affiliate marketing. We've started working on a silo on the topic of web hosting, but it wasn't complete. Take a look at my rank tracker. I set the time window to before the update, and after the update I've also selected only the keywords with the word affiliating them. 57% increase in share of voice. That's insane. You don't get these types of gains outside updates. Now I've selected the hosting keywords, 30% gains, which will definitely take, but I wish I had completed that topic before the update hit. To achieve topical authority status starts with creating a topical map of every single piece of content that needs to be created in order to hit authority status. Here's how to make one. Type your main keyword into the free tool. Answer the public. Download this report of essential questions that need to be answered in your topical map. Next, use Google itself, the best SEO tool on the planet. Google your keyword and take note of the people also ask section. You'll want to record the questions to answer them in either standalone articles or within existing articles. I'll show you how to decide that later. The free tool Dominion will automatically download hundreds of these questions to an Excel file, which speeds up the process. Then use Google's autocomplete feature to pull more relevant topics. Type your keyword, then put your cursor at the front or the back to see what comes up at the bottom of the search results. You'll find related searches. These are huge. Start clicking around and go down a rabbit hole of essential topics, and probably the best tactic is to reverse engineer other topical authorities in your niche to find out which topics they wrote in order to achieve the status. Open up their sitemap and do a find for your main keyword. Bam! Here's 300 topic ideas at this point. You probably have around 1,000 different keywords. Some of them belong on the same page and some of them belong in separate articles completely. Keyword Cupid will look at Google itself to determine that for you. It's a huge time saver. I left a coupon code to Keyword Cupid in the description. Use it and I'll earn a small commission which will spend on nothing good at all. Now that you got your topical map, it's time to start writing content as fast as possible before the next update. You'll thank me later. Now, as mentioned before, when an update hits, you'll get assigned a new quality score. This influences whether or not your site will rise or fall. One of the best ways to position your site for a quality score improvement is to do a complete website audit, and do this periodically. Since you have no idea when the next Google update will hit every other month, I audit my sites. Now there's a lot of different types of audits that you can do for your website, but the ones I want you to focus on to prepare for an update are the following: a technical SEO audit and a content refresh audit. Let's get into both of these. Technical SEO is all about making life easy for Google. If you think about what Google now needs to do, it's nuts. They need to crawl the entire internet to identify every single website. Then they need to figure out what the hell the content in each of these pages even means, then organize them for everything else. Weirdos are searching for every day and we're so down spoiled. So if this whole process takes longer than a microsecond, we're gonna freak out and find a new search engine. The actions that you take with technical SEO make it easier for Google to do their job, and when you make Google's life easy, they make life easy for you and reward you with traffic. I always perform technical SEO audits with tools. If you have an Ahrefs subscription, then my recommendation is to use Ahrefs Site Audit Tool. It's got a great interface with tooltips on how to fix everything it finds if you don't have a choice and you want to save money. SiteLiner is a free tool up to 250 pages. That is the same level of quality as Ahrefs Technical SEO Audit. If you need more capacity, Screaming Frogs free version will support up to 500 pages, but it lacks the US. That the previous to have. Here's a list of issues you want to be on the lookout for crawlers. Are there certain parts of your site that are completely inaccessible by Google crawl depth? Do you have pages on your site that are extremely hard to reach and are more than 4 jumps away from your homepage? Missing titles, descriptions and alt tags. Did you forget to fill out all these critical places for meta info? Do you have non-HTTPS URLs index? A quick check you can run is to Google cycle in your domain name then -HTTPS. Do you have broken links? And this applies to internal links between the pages of your site and incoming external links. Going to pages that don't exist anymore. Do you have duplicate content? This is what a siteline or duplicate content report looks like for dignitymarketing.com. Do you have indexing issues? Are you wasting Google's crawl budget on indexing tags, images? Do you have problems with schema? Make sure to always check your scheme in Google's free structured data testing tool. Why do you need to audit content that you've already written? Well, here's how SEO works in a nutshell. You get this great idea to write an article on how to shave a cat. So you do some research, Google, how to shave a cat. Then open up the first article and think to yourself, I can do better than this. I can cover more cat shaving tactics, write more clearly and optimize my article better. And you were right. You live up to your word and you get your weird-ass article to the top of Google. But guess what? 2 months later, a new cat shaving enthusiast has the same idea. So he looks at your article, creates a better one and eventually overtakes you content ages and gets one up all the time. So when your content loses rankings, perform an audit. Here's how I do it. I jump into my rank tracking software and compare my rankings between now and 1 year ago. You can also do it every half year or every quarter. Then I sort by this column here, which will organize the keywords that dropped the most. For example, this best niches for affiliate marketing article dropped 11 spots from 4 to 15. It's time for an audit. Now, what do you need to actually audit about these decaying pieces of content? First, check for search intent issues. Google is expecting to see certain types of content ranking for various keywords. For example, if you Google best wireless router, you're likely to see list tickles. If you Google buy CBD oil, you're likely to see e-commerce pages over time. Search intent gets scrambled and the content you once wrote might not be in the correct format for today. Next, you want to check the subtopic coverage for your article. Remember when we talked about one-upping your competition? When you wrote your article on cat shaving, you likely looked at the top articles H2 and H3 as to determine that you needed a section on reasons to shave a cat shaving supplies and the need to brush your coat. I highly regret using this example. You then look at those subtopics to craft your own master article, but over time the content quality on page 1 just completely changes. New cat shaving technology comes out and needs to be addressed. So it's good to go back, see what's changed and update your articles accordingly. Next, you want to fire up a tool like Surfer to check on 2 things. First is the word count of your articles. Still, the average of the top 5 in Google, just like search intent, can change. So can the expected word count. All Surfer, you want to check how well your words, phrases and entities are optimized. This is a big one. Google is expecting to see certain words and certain frequencies in your content. If you're writing an article on how to shave a cat, then there's a sweet spot on how much you would use the word cat in your content, and that goes for every word. Even non-keywords such as for clippers. And is it too late to restart this video with a better example? Search results get scrambled up over time and expected word densities change. To also check your content and make sure you're linking out to where you're getting your information from. Check out this section of the Google Quality Rater Guidelines in this example of a low-quality website. They blame failing to cite sources as one of the reasons in the same sentence. They also blame the lack of EAT, which I'll get to in a second. For a full content audit checklist, check out this content audit guide that I wrote. I left a link in the description. So let's talk about EAT. EAT was actually voted as the second most important ranking factor to improve before an update. EAT is an acronym. The E part, expertise, requires your content to surpass, ask the typical information that people can find on the subject. The authoritative news requires your content to be created by a credible source, and T trustworthiness requires that content should be factually correct and backed by external sources. What I think people freak out over the most: authoritative news. Do we need to hire PhDs to write our articles? Can only doctors write on health topics? Think about this algorithmically. Would Google really be able to track down the credibility of your authors? It doesn't have the resources for that, nor the ability to distinguish between false and real author profiles. Google spokesperson Gary Elias has even said that EAT is largely based on backlinks. But one thing we definitely know the algorithm can do is detect if there's a complete lack of authorship for a website. If you made no effort at all to show that there's a person behind the website. Google doesn't like that. In fact, they explicitly say, and the Quality Rater Guidelines, we expect most websites to have some information about who is responsible for the website, include an author bio, also known as an author box at the end of each post. Add author structured markup to explicitly tell Google with code who the author is. And don't forget to feature your authors on your About page. The Quality Rater Guidelines say that contact information is expected, so have a contact page and make sure it works based on my observations and countless feedback from others. There's another ranking factor that seems to only refresh during updates. If you check Google's documentation in affiliate programs that give an example of what they call a thin affiliate site when a majority of the site is made for affiliation and contains a limited amount of original content or added value for users. This document first appeared on the internet in November 2021, month before the carnage that decimated affiliate sites that were heavy on affiliation, such as Dear Hungry, Best of Machinery, and Improv. After the update around a correlation study which backed this up, websites with a higher proportion of affiliate content versus purely informational content stood to lose more traffic in that update. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter for faster updates more often than we post on YouTube. Add us on Twitter at @xinft.